Well, welcome, traveler. You have wandered into our inn, our tavern. Lainey, what do we run here?
I don't know.
A bed and
I run a
breakfast?
castle. I don't know.
Oh, you run a whole castle.
Yes.
Well, that's prestigious.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is NPCMe. It's a podcast where NPCs, non-playable characters, get the love or the hate that they deserve, depending on how we feel about them. And I think we should introduce ourselves. Who's even talking to you? Lainey, introduce yourself. Are you nervous?
I think you should go first.
Okay. So I am Big Red Ben, and I am a teeny tiny YouTuber streamer with, as of today, 288 subscribers on YouTube. This is an idea that I have had for a little while now. May be terrible, may blow up in my face. You know what? What's most likely to happen, Lainey? It's most likely.
I think it's gonna be wonderful. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna get you to 300 in one episode.
Hey, it's better than what I think will actually happen. I think what will actually happen is I'll post it and nobody will listen to it and it'll be like, well, that was fun to try.
Don't worry, I'll listen to it and I'll give it a like. So
There you go.
You'll at least have one. And Scalar, she won't fail.
Oh, yeah, Scalar. Oh, man. What are the odds of us ever getting her on this?
I think it's possible. I think we just need to find one that she likes.
Well, you know what'll make that possible is if you tell her. If you say,
Yes.
Scalar, come on the podcast.
I'm gonna ask her.
So, Lainey, who are you? What do you do? How do I know you?
How do you know me? You know me because you were one of the first subscribers ever to my channel, Nerdly Game. And yeah, I think you were there sub 10 subs or something.
I think you had
Might have been
3.
like
You had 3
yeah,
when I found you.
might have been the first, and I'm pretty sure one of those was my husband. So technically, you probably only had one. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great since I met you guys, and I'm really glad to be doing this. It's a great idea, whether or not we do good at it. It's a great idea.
Oh, people listen to anything. Have you heard some podcasts?
No, I usually don't do podcasts or listen to podcasts,
No.
so I'm not even sure how this is supposed to go, but I think you can make this happen. So I'm here for it.
Guys, this is a terrible mistake. Thank you for joining the first
it's gonna be fun.
And we're last episode.
We're just gonna talk. But I am looking forward to being fully instructed into this character because I'm not as knowledgeable about her as you.
Oh, our character. So,
yes.
Our character today, which you've probably already gathered from the title whenever I put this up, is going to be Lydia from Skyrim. Lydia is something special. How old is Skyrim now? What year did that come out? It came out like, what, 20
years? Maybe.
No, I don't think quite.
12 years?
I think it came out in what, like 2010? Maybe?
No way.
Yeah.
Oh no, Skyrim. Okay,
Skyrim,
yes. Not the Elder Scrolls. I was like, no.
Everybody listen as Ben Googles.
Yes. The preparation.
Guys, this is the amount of professionalism. I was off by a year. 2011.
The quality you can expect from us.
It's so special. 11.
That's actually
2011.
a lot. That's a lot sooner than I thought. But it's Skyrim. It's the Elder Scrolls. I remember playing like one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm getting so old.
We just guessed double the age of it though. We're like, oh, it's 20 years old. Maybe
I was thinking the Elder Scrolls. I wasn't thinking Skyrim.
Right.
So, yeah.
Morrowind. Morrowind will be 20 years old in 2 years.
That's the one I played, I think. That's the one I played the most.
Yeah. So
there were so many.
Yes. I have to confess though, I did not get on the Elder Scrolls train until Skyrim. It just seemed like it was more accessible to people.
Yes.
More accessible to people that are not super hardcore into the classical RPGs. It was.
I've actually only played Skyrim. I think on the was it the PS4 I bought it for? Yeah. So I actually have never played on PC, which is crazy because I basically only play PC game.
Oh my gosh, it's such beautiful mods. Um, but yeah, people are familiar with Lydia, and man,
Oh yeah.
you look up you look up Lydia on Google. I almost called her Lydia. That's
Yep.
that's a modded version of Lydia.
Oh god. I found a lot of creepy love letters to Lydia when I
Oh
was looking into her.
yes,
But there's
so
been a romance.
yeah, people have two strong reactions to Lydia. Two strong reactions to Lydia. It's either romance her or they want to kill her. Like,
Sometimes both.
yes, in whatever order. Uh,
Yeah.
so, who is Lydia? If you don't know, Lydia, first of all, her race is Nord. They're kind of like the Nords are kind of like the native peoples of Skyrim, and Lydia is a Nord, and it's unclear what her role is before the Dragonborn gets there. Which, if you don't know, also Dragonborn is just you. You're the character is Dragonborn. Um, Lydia is one of the well, really, if you do things in the order that the game wants you to do as far as quests go, Lydia is going to be the first follower you get. And I think that is why there's such a disparity between the
The
huge range.
affection?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
either affection or they detest her because she's the first one you get. So depending on how you play and how you move around the world and what you do is going to inform what Lydia does and how she reacts. And so if you hop into the game and you have a bad time right off the bat, I think you. I mean, of course, if you're a speedrunner, you can get Lydia like super quick. But I took my time. I should mention I went back and played a couple hours of Skyrim. Uh, and oh my gosh, Lainey, I could fall right back down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's why I don't go back to like WoW. I'm like barely playing Arc. I guess it's once you start those kind of games, it's
Yes.
impossible.
Yeah. I've been thinking about streaming it, but I don't know if
Do it,
people
do it, do it, do it. Please, I can finally learn. No, but I do remember her. I do
Yeah.
remember her. But I'm pretty sure I either got her killed. She was like super, can we say badass here? If
Yes,
not,
you may.
you, okay. Okay, okay. She was. And I remember she was just killing everything. But I think I killed her. I think I
Yes.
killed her, and I didn't know how to get her back. But now I know because I've looked it up.
That's how everybody learns. You got to look it up.
Yeah.
And so yeah, if you Google Lydia, that's one of the first things you see is a whole bunch of
Yeah.
people trying to figure out I lost Lydia, or alternatively, how do I romance Lydia? Not
Yeah.
and not in the way that the not Breeze Home. What was the DLC that let you buy a house? Anyway,
Uh,
Ben edited in here. No. Uh,
yeah.
you're so good. You know so
Beep.
much about it. What is?
Just the DLC. Just the DLC. Let's just say a DLC that lets
No,
you
I have to know.
for science.
Hearthfire. That's what it was called.
There you go.
I should have known that it has like a very fantasy injected
Yes.
name.
That is one thing I loved about this game. Every name of every like area, like Whiterun,
Mm.
is so fantasy.
So you bring up
Mm.
Whiterun. That is where
Yes.
Lydia lives.
Yes. Yes, it is. Also, something I was looking into her and I don't really think she has like a history, like a character, I guess origin story, but people have written
Yeah, I
them.
was gonna say outside of the fan fiction.
It's crazy. This
Lainey,
is so out of control. It's
we are
amazing.
teeny. That's the rule. I know it has to be one of those internet rules. You and I
Yeah.
are teeny tiny YouTubers.
Yes, yes.
There's already fan fiction about us.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
just sit in the
Does
Discord and
Scalar
watch.
does Scalar does Scalar sit there and say something already?
in the Discord, all you have to do is read Discord general chat. There's
Oh
a whole
God.
mythology around cheese and cucumbers. It's a mess.
Uh,
It's a madhouse. uh,
oh.
but so, do you remember what Lydia's title is? Like what
No. I
House
know she was like a
Carl?
warrior. She had like a big sword or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's got a sword.
I
Um,
murdered her, so I'm not really sure what happened to her after that. I think I was just really new, and that was the time when I was playing a lot of WoW, so I can't really quite remember exactly what she did. But I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn, man. So tell me
well,
more.
as we could tell by my constant googling and Wikipediaing, I am definitely an expert on the topic. She's a house Carl. Do you? What
Yes,
on
yes, yes,
earth? What house Carl? That
yes. That's the greatest title to
apparently
ever live.
this dude named Carl. No, I'm sure the origin is far further back than that. In fact, I looked up some things about it. It has some Scottish history,
Yeah.
um, early Scottish history, and then of course English history, as a lot of the mythology, of the Elder Scrolls series. It borrows from a bunch, but mostly European mythology. Not a whole lot of Eastern stuff going on, although little things here and there. But
Yeah.
do you have any idea what the heck a house Carl does?
I just thought she was like a warrior, a knight, or a bodyguard of some sort.
Yeah,
So I think that's what she was.
so a bodyguard is a good way to think about it. So as your house Carl, so you get Lydia whenever Jarl Balgruuf in Dragon's Reach, which is in Whiterun, um, promotes you to the title of Thane after you kill the dragon. After the quest Dragon Rising, the first time you go to the watchtower and kill the dragon and absorb its power, and you go back to Jarl Balgruuf, and he makes you Thane. And like you say, there's not much about Lydia's backstory up to that point. Um, it would seem that she receives the title of House Carl. I mean, because the whole reason all these events are happening is because you're there.
Right.
I mean, it's not that in depth of a thing where things are happening apropos of nothing, but she's not somebody else's House Carl beforehand, as far as we know. She is essentially promoted for whatever role that she has there in the castle, and her job is to protect the Dragonborn. Often with her life, especially if you're a spellcaster, or if you just get really luxurious with one of those swipes of your warhammer or your battle axe.
I think I threw an arrow at her.
You threw an arrow.
Yeah. And I
uh,
don't know whatever happened to her after that.
I need to remember to mention something about arrows that I found out. I thought was
Okay.
super cool.
Okay.
But yeah, so her other job. Do you remember the thing you hear Lydia say the most whenever you interact with her? Because what's an NPC in Skyrim for? What do you use an NPC for besides fighting?
I don't know.
They're there as your own personal pack mule.
Oh,
And I think that this was my initial reaction to Lydia whenever I was playing Skyrim.
she's your
It's
bag.
oh man, whenever I first started playing RPGs like this that had a robust inventory system, which by the way, get Skyrim script extender, get a different inventory management system than the default one, because the default one is poopy. But whenever I first started playing these games, I had serious OCD about picking up every little thing. And I would look at how much gold something was worth to the ratio of how much it weighed. And then I would go through mine and Lydia's inventory constantly, picking out,
Oh yeah,
well,
that's me. That's me.
a cabbage is worth more than a carrot.
They
So
call us hoarders, men.
we,
Okay,
we are.
and we just have to accept it and embrace.
And it was irresponsible of them to let us purchase property and then hoard things in
Yep.
there. And that's a whole different topic. People hoarding bodies in their houses. I've seen some nightmares of what people have done in Skyrim. But yeah, so you go interact with Lydia. You know, you're going through a Dwemer ruin and you're just loaded down with every piece of dwarven detritus that hoves into your field of view. And you're like, oh, too heavy to run. Got to talk
Yes.
to Lydia. You know,
Encumbered constantly.
yes. Do you know what Lydia's reaction is whenever you go?
No. I
Huh?
told you I murdered her very soon after I got her.
You
And then never
monster.
got her back. It isn't until years after the fact when I had to when you said, "Oh, let's do Lydia," that I said, "Okay, let me look into her." I can't even really remember. And then I remembered, like the first thing I saw was the people saying, "Oh, I got her back. You have to go to like the tombs and get her back there, and if not, she's in your house." And I was like, I wish I would have known that so long ago because I just kind of said, "Ah, okay, I guess she's gone now," and I just kept going.
Easy come, easy go.
It's just like, okay, I guess I lost her.
Oh, you were not that attached to Lydia.
No, I just wasn't. I just wasn't that. I just didn't play that long. I think.
I should clarify. So, there are way better companions than Lydia in the game.
But
But
are they? Was she your first? That's the
she
thing.
is, though. She's your first if you
Yeah.
play the game, air quotes, correctly. Um, but there are so much better ones. But here's the thing. So our tagline is where NPCs get the love or hate they deserve. Lydia, in my opinion, does not deserve the hate that she gets.
Mm.
But,
I only saw love. Too much love, in fact.
well, I got annoyed with her pretty quick because I had 1,495 cabbages. You know, I wanted 1,496.
Of course.
And so I go to access Lydia's inventory to see if maybe she could finally pull her weight for once. And by her weight, I mean the weight of 1,500 cabbages. And
Yes.
her attitude, she says, I am sworn to carry your burdens.
Oh no, she didn't. And people married her after that?
Yes.
I don't
And
believe
I
it.
was like,
How snobby.
excuse you? I just killed a dragon and I absorbed its soul so that I can yell really loud and knock people down. And that's the whole reason that you are my house Carl now. And you don't want to carry 1,500 cabbages for me? Oh,
Yeah.
so that was. But you know what? She grew on me. That first impressions weren't great. You know, I try to put myself in Lydia's shoes. You got to suspend your disbelief here a little bit and pretend that these people aren't
I mean, maybe you were just giving her too many cabbages.
lines of code. No, she didn't know what I was going to give her. I mean, she probably had some idea of
After
my
you've gone through
sinister
her inventory
purposes.
100 times and checked for every weight,
No.
I think she knew.
The first time you ever try to get her to do it.
Yeah, that's not great.
But she probably had some inkling of the dark purpose for which I intended her inventory when she saw me wandering around picking up every piece of trash I saw. Yeah, that's probably why she was so put out. So, my relationship with Lydia started out with annoyance and a little bit
Right.
taken aback, like, excuse you, I'm the Dragonborn. But, yeah, so that quickly shifted whenever I got a little, like I said, a little wild with some swings. And, say this for Lydia. She will run into a fight.
Yes.
Just completely oblivious to what's going on around her.
Yeah. Yeah, she just goes in there.
So,
She's a decent fighter though. I
don't it
remember.
always
At least she
seem to
was killing
go?
things.
Yes. Yeah, she kills stuff.
Yeah.
Then, when the first time Lydia dies, it's like, oh.
Or for me, the first and last time.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, she's
See,
gone.
you never gave her another chance, huh?
No, I
That
just never got her back.
that's fair. That
I
really
didn't
is.
even know you could get her back. That's how bad it was.
No kidding.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That happened.
So that's where I fall on this. Lydia doesn't deserve the hate. But I still have Lydia. I told you I've been playing again for
Hmm.
a couple hours. I am not a caster. Oh, so that's a big thing. If you're a caster, you have like chain lightning. That is the quickest way
Not
to
good.
chicken fry Lydia.
Well, she's a melee warrior. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, that
that's
reminds
what it
me.
is.
You threw an
Yes,
arrow at her. Is
I
what you
did.
said.
That's how I murdered her.
You
I'm
threw it
pretty sure.
like a dart. You threw it like a lawn dart at the back of her head.
I don't know what I did
Oh,
to her,
like
but it
bullseye.
was, it's just, she was gone. And I
Did
was
you?
like, oh,
Yeah. Were you role playing Bullseye from Daredevil?
no. I didn't mean to kill her. Just bad aim. Just my typical bad aim, you know?
Yeah. Just
She was just in the middle of the action. Just got in the way.
your vision turns red.
Yeah. I couldn't distinguish friend from foe.
Well, it doesn't help that she looks like just any bandit until you really get used to it. She wears that steel armor. Um, it's
I
pretty
gotta say, her
nondescript.
look is pretty decent. Her look is pretty decent.
Yeah.
And her voice is good too.
Of
Whoever
course, you can
did the
make
voice
her.
acting for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Her voice. Um, but regarding the arrows, I found this out in my research. Make it sound like it's something, educational. Call it research. Um,
Yes.
there is a fun little thing you can do with arrows with Lydia. So if you give her uh, a single arrow of the best type you can find, so say I'm going to say something here, and I don't even remember if it's a real thing or not. Like say a Daedric arrow. The Daedric armor and weapons are super OP. Say you give her a Daedric arrow, and you only give her one. She will have an infinite supply of those arrows as long as you are just making her use like her default bow. Um, but what I found out was if you give her like a different bow, um, then she'll run out of the good arrows and go back to using the iron arrows. So I guess it's just like a trade off of which you find first. If you find a better bow first rather than a really good arrow, which is more likely, you're more likely to find a good bow before you are to find a super good arrow. Or even be able to smith it. But I thought that was
Mm.
interesting.
That
And
is definitely interesting. It's like a different way to play her if you decide not to give a better bow, which is kind of crazy.
right,
It's probably a bug, but it's interesting.
it's Bethesda. It's not a bug. It's a feature. It's meant to
It's a
work that way.
feature. It's made to work that. I like it.
Gosh,
What am
uh,
I thinking?
Todd's gonna come after us now, lady.
But did you ever marry her, Ben? That's the real
Did
question.
I marry? No. My heart belonged to another. We're gonna have to do an episode on her.
Okay, we
You
will.
know,
We
you
will.
know, you know who I picked?
No.
Mule the lioness. Do you
Ooh.
know who she even is?
No, I never got married either.
Oh,
Well, I do know a little bit about her, but I don't really. I just know she was a warrior as well.
oh, she is like a whole different level. She's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. But
Eh, and
until
she
she
is so
met,
pretty.
until she met the Dragonborn,
Oh, of course.
um, we may have to do one about her. But I think there's even less information about her than there is about Lydia. I mean,
That's okay. I think what we do is we just take one of these fan fictions and we pretend it's true.
we just pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure, guys. This is straight from the Skyrim wiki. Um, Lydia is from the fourth planet of Zebular in the Orion Belt. She has 23 hybrid werewolf children.
Sounds
and,
about right.
and she rides. See, I was about to try to make a poll for a My Little Pony character name. Rainbow Dash? Is that one?
Yes, I think that's one.
She rides Rainbow Dash back and forth to work in Skyrim every day. But yeah, the guys, this is on the official Bethesda wiki for Elder Scrolls.
No, but I did read some fun stories. Like they give her a bunch of just like an origin story where she was raised in an orphanage and then somebody adopted her and then she grew up to be a warrior and worked for the guard and then she got promoted, I guess, whenever you killed the dragon. So
now, why didn't Todd
it's
think of that?
realistic. It's realistic-ish.
Yeah, there's an orphanage in Riften that's like a big quest line.
Yes, I think that's the one they gave her.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That should have been a thing anyway. That would
Yeah,
have been
the orphanage
cool.
in Riften offered to look after her.
Offered.
But then the Jarl ended up adopting her and raised her as a daughter.
Lady.
Let's just pretend this is true because we don't know. It could
Lady,
be.
you're Latina and you're saying Jarl.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
You pronounce it with a Y like it's a double L.
What is it called?
Jarl.
Jarl. Okay, I am never gonna get that right.
So good.
I'm never gonna get that right.
Oh man. But yeah, so it was right there. It would have been such a cool little thing, especially if it rewarded the player for making it all the way to Riften with Lydia, and which, you know, that's no small journey. I mean, it's far over in a different corner of the map, which I guess the game's smart in that it basically starts you out almost in the center of the map, but making it all the way to Riften with Lydia would be no small undertaking. And for you to get there and do that quest line with that evil hag of a woman.
Complaining every time you want to throw more cabbage in your inventory?
Yeah. No. I'm not talking about Lydia. I'm talking about Grelod the Kind.
Okay.
She's like the headmistress in at the Honor Hall Orphanage in Riften. And she beats the children and refuses to allow their adoption. But
oh, what a monster.
She gets what's coming. Well, depends on how you feel about it. Some person named Aventus Aretino kind of feels like she has something coming to her. Man, I just looked up. She has some good lines of dialogue. Those who shirk their duties will get an extra beating.
God. Yeah, she sounds like a fun one.
Yeah.
I bet that's who you married, Ben.
No, you can't marry. Well, I shouldn't say can't.
You can?
Well,
no,
I mean,
you cannot.
Nexus Mod Manager, you can do anything. You're talking about being able to change Lydia's armor earlier. Oh, the modding community has had some fun with that.
Oh, no.
Yes.
There's been a lot of love letters to Lydia that I saw, so I'm sure there's a lot of... let's just say Lydia is probably not looking very decent in some of those outfits.
Oh. That's something else I want. So we talk about whether they deserve the love or hate that they get. Lydia, don't let some modder tell you how you should look. You look just fine how you were originally modeled.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that if
She's a warrior. How was she expected to fight with no clothes on?
Well, I mean, people go even more in depth than that. I mean, I understand it. There's some little texture overhauls and stuff just to make every character look better. But there's so many mods that just zero in on Lydia. And they're like, make Lydia pretty, finally. Make Lydia not so ugly anymore. Make Lydia...
She's not that bad to begin with, I think.
Make Lydia not look like a skeever butt. So, No. I don't think anything ever said that. But yeah, there's so many mods that are like, make Lydia pretty. Lydia, you're perfect the way you are. I'm enjoying playing with you again. It has been too long, my old friend.
I'm so glad. I hope she gives you that same speech next time you try to give her some cabbage.
Oh, you know what? I think she's warmed up to me a little bit. Uh,
Maybe they change your voice lines or something.
yeah, so they they added stuff, of course, for the DLC, but I don't think they changed stuff. But depending on what you do informs how the NPC reacts to you. Um, so the last couple of times that I have access to Lydia's inventory in this most recent playthrough, she says something like, "What can I do for you, my Thane?" or "Long life to you, Thane," or
Ooh.
something like she. Um, the last few times I've talked to her, she hasn't been so sassy. First time, of course. I'm sworn to carry your burdens.
Think she's warming up to you.
Laney, you know what we almost forgot? Oh my gosh, this woman loves to just stand in the doorway.
Oh god.
And so at first, it was like there was not much you could do about it, like at all. She would just stand there in the doorway and you could just walk at her, especially, God forbid, if you end up in a small room, because that's what usually
God
triggers
forbid.
it. That's what usually triggers it. You walk into like a little closet because you just want to steal somebody's one apple out of their sack in their cupboard. And by the way, she will sass you about that too.
I
She'll,
just remember
yeah.
that she was following me and I was going in water or something, and she just like a jet. And I don't know what happened. She was gone forever, and I thought I lost her then too. But then I came out, and then all of a sudden she just like projectiled out of the water
Oh
and was
yeah,
next to me again. Seriously, it was really good follows back then.
like a majestic jet fueled dolphin.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, she'll sass you if she sees you stealing something.
See, our time together was not long, but it was meaningful. I'm sure I would have married her eventually,
Oh
but
yeah,
I just never got to that in the game. I don't think.
yeah, yeah. You spend some time with them. You wear a little amulet of Mara, uh, and then you can marry them. Ah, the dialogue for that. Um,
Cringy.
no, it's not bad. It just makes you feel bad for Lydia, really.
Oh
Uh,
no. I don't
so
want to take somebody as my hostage wife.
no, 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 no. I meant the other way. If you turn her down,
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah,
I can't. I wouldn't turn her down. I would have said yes for sure.
she'll say so. She'll make a remark about she'll say like oh, an amulet of Mara. I'm surprised somebody like you isn't taken already. And
Ooh.
you could and your response you could do is interested in me, are you? And she says, well, yes, why wouldn't I be? Are you dot 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 interested in me? And you can answer yes
Oh.
I am, or no I'm not. And if you say yes I am, it's great. It's very sweet. It says it's settled then. As brief as life can be in Skyrim, at least we'll have each other. And then if you say no I'm not, oh, I'm sorry I said anything then. Poor
Oh
Lydia.
no.
Poor Lydia.
Oh, heartbreak. I can tell. I can feel it.
Because you know why that option happens. It's because Lydia has been wandering around with you again until you get to Riften. Because
Yeah.
Riften is also where you can get an amulet of Mara. So Lydia has made this long journey with you. She's fought by your side, taken a lot of friendly fire, carried all your
At least my Lydia.
cabbages. Yeah. Carried all your cabbages with you all the way to Riften, and all your stolen goods that you can only sell to the fence in Riften. And then she sees you go to the Temple of Mara, and she starts thinking, well, I wonder what we're doing here. And then you buy an amulet of Mara from the priest. She goes, oh, well, I felt that way, but I didn't know that they felt that way about me. And then she decides to have some courage and speak up about it. And then you're like, oh, no, I drug you here with me to Riften because I wanted to marry Mule the Lioness because she lives in Riften.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, so you took Lydia all the way from her homeland. Well, apparently back to her homeland of Riften, where her orphanage was. And then you were like, no.
That's
We
canon
came
now.
here.
Yeah.
We came here. And you carried all my stuff here so I could marry the lioness. Well done, Ben. I thought so much better of you. Poor Lydia.
Oh, poor Lydia. So, Lainey, how do you feel? Do you think that Lydia deserves love or deserves hate?
I think she does. I think, and after what I've heard about you, I don't know. I don't know, Ben. She has changed my mind about you. I will say that.
She.
Just kidding. No. I can see how she can get annoying, and I think that happens in video games sometimes. Whenever you get like a new follower, and even if it's like your first follower, and you really love them, after a while they get kind of annoying. So I can understand. I can understand people dressing them up. It's fine. I made fun of the probably scandalously dressed Lydia, but after a while you get tired of seeing the same thing, right? So I get it.
So what I'm hearing is that Lainey's about to go play some Skyrim on the PC and get just
and
waist
Lydia's
deep
about to
in
have
some
like a maid
modding.
outfit or something, like a sexy nurse, sexy maid.
And you can give her big anime eyes too.
Oh wow. It's okay. It's okay.
I think that's gonna.
She can stay dressed for my game. It's fine. If I can at least find her this time, that would be cool.
But you looked up the bug fix for that, so you should be able to find her again if you lose her.
I did. I feel like I have learned so much, man.
I have
Open my eyes, man. And to be honest, I hadn't really looked at Skyrim in years, so this is really great.
Yeah. Well, I may be streaming it sometime in the near future. We'll see, because nice. I really enjoyed my my time I spent with this. I recorded some footage to upload along with the audio that you and I are recording now, so you guys could see that. So I think that's going to be kind of our sign off. Is we decide if Lydia deserves love or hate, and I think we both sided on love today. And so let's say if we
just a moderate amount of love, Ben. Okay.
Yeah, not a creepy.
Let's get the creepers out of Lydia's face.
Yes.
And get her a good husband. Not Ben, obviously. He's taken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for fans of future you.
Oh, so you guys know my wife is not a gamer. First time I started talking about, my wife is doing this and that, when she was asking about one of my video games, she just said, "You're married in that?" It was like, yeah. She just rolled her eyes and laughed at me. She doesn't get it.
She doesn't get it, but
she does now.
She's still with you.
Oh no,
so she gets it.
She gets it now. This game came out in 2011. We weren't married yet. She says I tricked her.
That's brave of you to say that you were married in a video game to a girl.
Yeah.
Not married to.
Brave.
Super brave.
Brave or foolish.
I don't know, but one or the other. Either way, it worked out, right? So
yeah. Yeah. There have been lots of conversations about how I hid my, quote, weirdness from her. Tricked her into marrying me. It's okay.
Everybody puts on a front when they're dating.
Oh, for sure. None of us would be married otherwise.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
None of us would be.
No. I'm a terror. No, but I will say, he knew what he was getting into. Pretty soon.
So yeah, we landed on love for Lydia. I'm trying to. I called her Lydia first, which is what the modding community thinks about her. And Luvia is what I tried to call her. Lydia deserves love.
Let's give her a rating.
A rating.
A likeness factor.
A likeness factor. Like from 1 to 10.
Yeah. Just a simple, what would you give her?
Oh, see, I feel like she is sitting like in a corner in the room behind me, listening to us talk about her, and
Yeah.
she's
Not. She's like,
nodding. She's nodding
yeah.
and smiling along and appreciating.
She's sleeping. You made her carry too many things. But I was thinking, because there's going to be other characters that we might also say they deserve the love they get, right? So now we can just measure exactly how much.
Okay. Well, you tell me where you fall on that scale then.
Well, I didn't spend as much time with Lydia as you did, and I'm sure other people here. So I can't really accurately say, but I'll say I'm room temperature on her. She's all right.
Like a
I'll give her
5?
an 8.
Oh, an 8.
A 7 or
Oh,
8. No, let's just give her a 7.
I was going to say, you
Let's
are
give her a
like
7.
the.
No, because I already like her. Okay, she's not a bad person. She's a warrior. She's cool. Probably was, she had a tough life in the orphanage. And then, she got adopted. She had this huge full life.
That
And so
is
I
canon
feel
for
like a
Lainey
7.
now. That is
I feel
canon
like
now.
I feel like a 7 is a minimum.
See, 7 was where I was going to fall on that scale too.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
good. We think alike. We really do. I like it.
Well, good. So, I was thinking, if we fall in love or if we fall on hate or if we fall on, oh, they deserve love and hate,
Mm-hmm.
our sign off could be something like, well, if we love them, we could say, go love an NPC today. Or if we fall
Oh,
on,
adorable.
or if we fall on hate, we could say, all right, so go hate an NPC today. This
I'm
gets really aggro. And if they're in between, we could just say, hey, it's up to you. Go love or hate an NPC today.
Yes.
But,
I don't think she
yeah.
deserves to be hated because she has one bad line.
No,
Yeah.
hate is nowhere near where I fall in that. Oh, she has more than one bad line too. If you're a
Oh
thief, she
no.
gets super judgy. She's like, wow, you must really need that.
Yes, because she's
Like,
full of justice. You can tell she's a good person.
oh yeah. Yeah.
That's why I give her a 7. And though, just because you hated, I wanted to give her, okay, so I wanted to give her an 8 just because you spurred her advances. But then
Because
I
I was
thought,
so rude to her.
because you said, no, I'm not interested in you, get away, let's go get the lioness. I would have given her an 8, but then I have to compare her to other characters that I have to think of. And there's no way she's an 8 compared to everybody else,
Oh.
So she's a 7.
I
But
mean,
she's a good one.
just think about the title. Lydia, we already decided that we loved you, but we're going to keep dogging you. So think about the Lydia the house Carl and
Yeah.
Mule the lioness.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry, Lydia. They just didn't give her a good name. Like, I know she's supposed to be like a warrior, and they were the lioness. Come on, she doesn't even have a title afterwards.
yeah,
It's just kind of like an afterthought.
yeah.
Yeah, poor Lydia. And
So,
also the name Lydia. Oh, it's just reminds me of that song in The Walking.
oh yeah, yeah.
Kept up with it, but yes, it's too much.
So, you brought up her voice. She has a good voice. She
Yeah.
is voiced by somebody named Colleen Delaney. It's the same voice actress that does Rhea, which is one of the companions. The companions are also there in Whiterun. They're like the gang of werewolves. We're gonna have to dig into one of them. I think there are so many characters in Skyrim that could make
Yes.
for an interesting one.
We should talk if anybody's interested because I am in love. Idea. You can edit this out. But we could do like voice actors in games. Have you ever actually looked at the voice actors like for
Oh yeah,
Overwatch or any of the other games? It is crazy.
yes,
They're actually so good. And I found out like a bunch of the voice actors for this game do like a bunch of characters and they don't sound anything like it.
yeah, yeah.
And this game has incredible voice actors like Christopher Plummer, Joan Allen, and then the guy from Battlestar Galactica, Colonel Ty. Tell me you watch Battlestar Galactica. If not, Ben, go watch Battlestar Galactica. But
Whoever watched.
But I love Battlestar Galactica so much that I wanted a big dog, and I was gonna name him Colonel Ty.
Oh yeah.
And then I wasn't allergic, so that's it.
Um, yeah. So, oh, Max von Sydow's in this too. Uh, if you
Yeah,
know who
it's
that
just
is,
crazy.
yeah. There's a bunch of good people in here. Um, oh, and then the same lady that voices Lydia, she also voices another character called Mephala, which is one of the good Daedric princes. Um, and then she voices all of the female Bosmer bandits, so like the dark elves. Um, but yeah,
I never noticed, so
not
that's
dark
crazy.
wood elves. Bosmer wood elves. Sorry,
Yeah,
dark
she
elves
did
are a
so
different
good.
thing. Yes,
Well done, voice actress.
yes. Well done,
I,
Colleen.
I did look up voice actors because that's the first thing I ever look at in a game. I don't know. I'm weirdly obsessed with voice acting. But yeah, she's done. I don't know. I don't think the actual voice actress has done like much other voice other than Skyrim, but I think she also did like Fallout 4 or something like that.
Right.
But I'm not sure
Yeah,
what
yeah,
she
yeah.
was.
She did.
Or
She
like
played Pam, the predictable algorithm machine, whatever.
yes, I think she was a
The
machine.
future telling robot. That's what it
Yes,
was.
yes. She sounded a little bit familiar,
Yeah.
but now I
Oh,
know.
and Assaultron. That's the other thing. The Assaultron bots. She voices those too.
See? You knew.
I did.
You knew.
But you
I
know
should have
why I
never
knew?
doubted you, Ben. We didn't even have to Google
You know, I did though. That's how I knew. I Googled it. I Googled it a few days ago.
Oh my god.
But,
Yeah.
well, Lainey, this was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. It was. I wish I would know more about her, but I'm glad that you taught me so many things.
Well, you're
I
welcome.
feel you are very knowledgeable in
Oh, no,
Skyrim.
no, no. Man.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the next lesson, Ben.
Well, that's a good thing about us being as tiny as we are, is we're not going to have thousands of people messaging us and tweeting us and all that good stuff saying, well, you were wrong about this.
Oh, I think I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a couple
Oh,
comments of
yeah.
how
Oh,
this
we will,
woman
but not thousands.
she'll be like they'll be like, what is this girl talking about? Lydia was never in an orphanage.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just kept
It's
talking
going to
about it as
happen.
though it
I
was a
don't
real
think they're gonna
thing.
realize the tone in my voice. That's for
Oh,
sure.
it's canon now. You
Yeah,
hear that,
okay,
Todd?
of course. I mean, this was the best story I found online about her. It was like really complex too. I just gave you like the surface story, you know? It was basic. She had like a sister and oh man.
Hmm.
She fought in battles. I mean,
Well, that's not too
why
big of
not?
a stretch. I would hope that she had fought in some battles before. If the Jarl is like, well, here's Lydia to protect you. She's never done anything before. We just put some armor on her, gave her a shield and a sword.
I mean, it's kind of sad though that they gave you the one what is she called?
House Carl?
Yeah, they gave you the one house girl that just got promoted. It's like they didn't even have one available. They're just like, nah, take that one. We'll just promote her, and then that way you can call her your boss.
Well, the other House Carls are protecting other important people.
No,
Though,
of
I mean,
course. I'm
who's more
just saying.
important than the
He's more important
Dragonborn?
than us, though, right?
Yeah, the Dragonborn's more important.
We should have gotten. We should have gotten the top rate defense. And instead, we got Lydia.
Ah, well, good news is you can get better companions.
Yeah.
Or you can get good and not have to worry about how good your companion is. So they don't have to
Then
carry you through the game.
where do you put your stuff, though?
You know, I try to live my life not attached to, you know,
To material things,
material things. Thank you.
please. Maybe in real life, but in the game, we both know we're both hoarders. I've seen your box in 7 Days to Die, okay? Your
Oh,
box might be more organized than mine, but it is still a dump site.
oh, a blind person could organize a box better than you. A blind
You mean
person.
because I have like a feather in each box, just randomly throw. It was even worse than that. I used to play Ark with this guy who's like pretty. He's really good at organizing things. And it was the same thing. We had like all these vaults, and I would just have like a random flint or a random stone in the box. Cause why? I don't know. I just don't like throwing away things.
Well, you brought up other games. We mentioned it up front
Yes.
at the top of the podcast that both of us are on YouTube. So Lainey is also known as.
Oh, I have a channel called Nerdly Gaming. But yes, I am known as Lainey, I suppose, at this point.
Well, so you can find her at Nerdlet Gaming. That's NERDLETTE Gaming on YouTube. And we are super excited for Lainey because she just passed 100 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
And then, Lainey,
Yes.
you got to get your custom URL.
Excuse me?
You get a custom URL after you pass 100 subs, so you can be youtube.com/nerdletgaming now.
Oh, yes.
That was the most exciting thing. I was about to plug mine, because mine is youtube.com/bigredben. That's BIGREDBEN. Because I'm big, I'm red, and I'm Ben. But yeah, Lainey, you have got to go get your custom URL. Hopefully it's not taken.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yes.
Okay, Ben, you're gonna tell me after that how to do that.
Yes, for sure.
No big deal. But that's awesome.
Yeah,
great.
by the time you guys hear this, hopefully
Yeah.
Lainey will be at youtube.com/nerdletgaming. But of course, whenever we get this podcast up, I will put links for both channels. Hopefully we find somewhere to put this up. I didn't really think that far ahead, Lainey. I just thought, we'll record it and then we'll have a podcast. And didn't really think much about how people were going to listen to it.
We didn't think of this through a lot on this one, but I think
Hey,
it's good. I think the open
speak
format.
For yourself.
Okay, I did tell you were gonna have to instruct me on this.
I know. As if.
But I'm glad though, because it's like, okay, I was a little bit. You get to teach me about her, which I'll get to teach you about some other one some other time, hopefully.
You will, because you have brought up World of Warcraft a few times now.
Oh yeah.
I
can tell you anything about Andy.
I am ignorant. Ignorant.
Let's just say I am a little bit of just a little pathetic. Like when we went to see the movie, I wanted to make a shirt, but it just didn't arrive in time. That said Team Andy on the back, and my husband was gonna wear one for Thrall, but yeah, we didn't make it. We just went like in the night. There's a lot of people dressed up.
Everybody would have thought you were just plugging Parks and Rec anyway.
Yeah, that's true. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know what I meant.
Well, any other thoughts, Lainey?
No, this was great. I'm glad you got me to do this, and I really hope we can do some other ones in the future. Hopefully one that I know better, so I can be a little bit more helpful. But I really liked her, and I remembered her, which is nice. Which is nice to do every so often.
Yes.
They spend so much time creating all these characters, for all these NPCs that we just get quests from or follow us around or carry our stuff.
Right.
And we don't think about them ever or for years.
Well, that's why we're here, Lainey.
Yeah.
We're here to give these NPCs the love or hate they deserve.
Yeah.
That is the
voice.
The conceit of this podcast.
Give them a voice, Ben.
Recognize these NPCs that people spend time on.
Sometimes
you can get recognized for bad or good things.
Yeah, that's true. We even sometimes give them a background story. So let's think on that for next time.
Yeah.
If they don't have one, don't worry. We got you covered. Or somebody in the internet has got you covered.
For sure. Well, thanks so much for listening, guys. I'm Ben.
And I'm Lainey.
Go love an NPC today.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Ben here again. If you enjoyed our first episode, please do share it with a friend. Hopefully, it'll get a little bit smoother as we go along, but we sure appreciate you tuning in for our first episode. So yeah, share it around. It'd mean a lot to us. Bye.